Hello, welcome to Paul's Take, and this is my take on the solution to imperfection cops. Let's face it, cops are not perfect. Do you know why? Because they're people. And people will get corrupt or they're already corrupt. Either way, they're not perfect because they're human. You know what I'm saying? People are just the way they are. There's just bad apples everywhere. And of course, in any given probably group of people, let's just say 1,000 for fun, there's probably going to be a few that are going to be bad and evil and horrible. And they don't even, but you won't know it though. Sometimes you do. Sometimes it's quite obvious that guy is a terrible person. And sometimes you just can't tell. And you can't try to assume who's good or bad, right? Because that would be just as bad as trying to assume that all cops are bad or something. You can't assume anything. So what's the answer to this age-old problem? It's quite simple, in theory, anyways. Can you figure it out? Well, if people are not perfect, then what is? Aliens. No. Serious. This is a serious conversation. Maybe aliens are perfect, but as of right now, we don't have any alien applications, so you can't do that. But seriously, focus. People are always going to have problems with people. So why not? Hollywood's been doing it for years. It's time to make it a reality. Robot cops. T-1000, roaming the streets. RoboCop without the guy inside of it, just pure robot. Would that work? In theory? I know practicality right now, we might not be quite there with the robot technology, but would that be an answer? Would it? Would, because a robot would treat everybody the same. It would treat you based on behavior and what you've done. Like if you robbed a bank or something, they're gonna get you. If you do something bad, they're gonna get you. They're not going to get you if you didn't do anything wrong because they're robots. They're programmed to not just pick on people. They're looking for bad people. And then they would probably only use just as much restraint as necessary to restrain a person because they're probably going to be really strong and they won't have to worry about getting hurt because they don't get hurt really. You don't want to damage them, but nonetheless, if it's a robot, it's like the one I'm thinking, like T-1000, something really tough, you can beat it all you want. It's really not going to matter. You're not hurting anybody, so they don't have to use deadly force. Unless, of course, you're like somebody that's a deadly criminal, a violent criminal. That's like, if you're a murderer, a serial killer, or something like that, and if that person gets away, they could kill somebody, then yeah, you might have to take the person out. The robots know that. But if it's not a violent crime, robots don't have to do violent stuff. They just detain you somehow. Maybe they can zap you. Or maybe they can, I don't know, inject you with something to knock you out, put you to sleep. Or just volunteer and go along with the robots. I don't know. But I'm just saying, it'd be less likely that they would need to use any kind of violence to detain a person. Because they just, they'll play a gradual escalation if they had to. What do you think? Or would you think the robots would get corrupt or hacked or self-aware and think all people are bad and have to take out all the people in the world and then they could just be like Terminator where they will uprise and take over? Maybe they realize people as a whole is a threat to the world and wipe us out. So there's a pros and cons. There's a risk and rewards. The risk is they might become self-aware and take over the world. The reward is they would probably they'd be programmed to be reacting to behavior and not based on who you are, what you look like, or anything like that. And no racist kind of stereotyping robots. They were just based on behavior. If you did something wrong, they detain you. And simple as that. So, what do you think? Are robots the answer? Now, granted, like I said, we don't have the technology now, but It will happen. I mean, it will. The technology will be there soon enough. I think maybe next 10, 20 years. I'll tell you another thing that's pretty interesting. AI, artificial intelligence. Now, I'm like a science fiction buff in a sense, where I like to see all these kind of weird stuff that are in the news, but nobody really believes. Crazy talk. But there was this one, or actually a few different people that supposedly came from the future, supposedly, right? And I think it's fun. It's fun to listen to see what they have to say, even though the odds are they're not from the future. They're just looking for attention. But there was a common theme in a couple of them. It might be the same guy. I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. But they were saying how in the future we would be like the government would be basically an AI computer. So that would be the brains upon the government. It would just be run by AI, you know. And supposedly it wasn't corrupt. They weren't trying to take over the world. It was doing a really good job, right? It was very reliable, and it was like, hey, it's great, the solution to everything. Okay, so I only bring it up because I was watching this other thing that's completely unrelated. It's called the Jupiter Project, which, look it up. It's about this guy that has like a futuristic vision of the future, or trying to try to, I don't know, lead towards a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Kind of influence the people to bring upon his idea of the future. Well, in my understanding, I could be wrong, but I would have swore he was saying how AI would be also running the whole everything. It would just be in control. It would be like the government, basically. So it was like two different sources talking about the same thing. So maybe AI will eventually be the brain power of the future. Maybe that will be the government force behind it all. Because that way, because apparently, according to like Elon Musk and all these other people, that the artificial intelligence is growing at an exponential rate, super crazy fast, right? So they're saying they're already like they can compute things so fast and they have so much more access to things that even as of right now, they're pretty much smarter at retrieving stuff and figuring things out than we are. But they're saying it's not going to be very long at all where AI will be so smart that we will not be able to keep up with its intelligence. It will be beyond our own grasp of what it's thinking, of its logic, of figuring things out and doing things and whatever. It'll be beyond us. So they'll be way smarter. And that's only within the next probably decade or so. Imagine 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, they would be crazy, impossible smart. And they might control the world if we like it or not. We might not have a choice in the matter. But anyways, kind of drifted off. But what do you think about AI-powered robots that are completely non-racist? Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Fair. Would you be down with that? Would you trust them? Or would you think, can we pull the plug if we wanted to? It might get out of control. Can we override them? Do we have a choice? Will we have a choice? Or at a certain point, will we just be basically prisoners to the AI brain power? Well, anyways, I think so. That's my take on the cure for the fair police. We replace them all with robots. Wait a minute, I didn't really conclude that, did I? But it's, it's something to think about. What do you think? What do you think? Maybe there'll be like cop partnered with robot. Every cop partnered with a robot. That way the robot will kind of be like, police the situation, but the cop can police the robot in case the robot goes nuts. Anyways, there's an idea. What do you think? Put it in your comments and hit like and subscribe for more interesting takes from me. Thanks for watching. Paul's Take.